folks, welcome back to Handmade by Shirley. So I'd already started doing this card. I really meant to do it on screen. So this was a design that I had seen Heidi the Yorkshire Crafter. If you don't know her, I would head to her channel. She does some amazing stuff, and she has got quite a following of people, which is really nice. So she made this Christmas card, and that's where I got the paper from. Well, not from Heidi, but she used this on her video, Midnight Forest, which is from Funky Fossil, and it's fantastic paper card. Well, paper it is. So she made this card, which I would obviously, if I've given it to somebody, I'd put another bit of paper on the front. But what it was called an Agamograph card, I think. I'll get the right name. And it was, if you held it a certain way, the way the concertinas went, you would see so much of the design, and then if you held it the opposite way, you'd see so much of that design. So it was quite nice. So I thought, that was just my prototype, I thought I'd do it again. I also made another little card with the paper that was kind of, I just fancied making a small card, so I cut this one back. This is a 5x7, I think, yes, but then I just cut in 1 inch and I added the excess on to the inside, so that when you open it, it's like that, because these papers are just delightful. So I've got that as well. And then I did make some tags with, there's a page, there's actually 3 pages where you can just make tags. So 3 I made with just a square shape, and 3 I cornered. So that's my starts of my Christmas cards already. So I thought I'd come on, I might just zoom out slightly, it's not going to let me, just leave it. So I thought I'll just come on and show you actually how to make the card. I mean, it might not be exactly the same as the one Heidi made, but anyway, if you want to see hers, you can obviously check it out. But this is one I thought I would try myself. So what you need is, I've got, it doesn't have to be dark card. She did use dark blue, navy blue sort of colour, but I've got just a blue that I had in my stash. And what you need is 2 pieces of card. This one's a bit flimsier for the concertina, but it doesn't have to be, it's just what I had. So you need 2 pieces that measure 10 inches by 7 inches. And then you're going to score one of the cards, which is going to be your base card, at 5. So that makes a 5x7 card. Okay, so that's the base. Now on the inside I did put some papers. You don't have to do that, you could just leave it. But I think it's quite nice when you look inside and you can see a bit of something at the back. So then the next thing, what you want to do, I'd already started doing my papers, but I'm just going to stop. So with this other piece, what you want to do is you want to score 1 inch all the way down. So start scoring at 1 inch. So just get that out the way. So 1 inch, 2 inches, until you get to the end. 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches, oh, just get there, so 8 inches, and 9 inches, and then your other inch will be your 10th inch. So you should end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inch pieces in that piece of card. So move that out of the way at the moment. And then the next thing to do is to just fold and burnish. So I'm just going to put that one in. So it's forward, back, forward, back, all the way to the end. Give it a good old burnish at the end. And you could use absolutely any papers, I suppose, but this is to give the look off. If you look one way, you'll see so much of a bit of paper. If you look the other way, you'll see so much of the design of the other paper. So just give this a great big burnish, just to make sure these creases and folds are in place, like that. And what you want to do when we're putting it on, so we're going to start with that side up. I'm not going to put it on just now, but that's how it would go onto the front of the card. So that's that done. So what I've started to do, I took 2 pieces of the paper out. So I took, I mean, it could be any paper, but this paper is just delightful. So I have taken this bare one out, okay, and I've also taken, if we've got it still, they're so delightful, aren't they? Just gorgeous. Love these. I took this one as well out. So one that's perhaps got one of the sort of animals in it and one that's not. So what I did here with this piece, now was this the pieces that I've cut ready? What did I put? Yep. So you need to cut 5 pieces, so 1 inch strips, because they're going to go into this 1 inch concertina. So what I did was, just move that out of the way just now. I cut 1 inch strips. I still have to cut them down to 5. But I cut the ones, I cut one which is going to go onto there. Then I missed one out and I'll put it to the side. And then I cut the next one and then so on. So I've got 3 pieces. I've only got 4 pieces there. I think I should have 5. That could be one of the pieces maybe. No. Might be one of the pieces. So anyway, I really should have showed you it properly. So that will go in there. We'll miss one. That will go there, just as an example. You miss another one. That one would possibly go there. You miss another one. That one will go there, and so on. So that's how it's going to go for one side. And then cutting out the same strips for the other side of the paper. So I'm just going to pop this to, I'm just going to actually cut these down to 5. So just get my trimmer. So I'm just going to find the best bit that's going to need. So I want to cut all of them. So it's probably actually better if I just do it individually. So I have to decide if I want to have the bottom on it or the top on it. So probably would like a bit of the bottom. So I'm just going up to 5. That doesn't look right. It's actually not 5, surely, it's 7. 7, cut it at 7. I was thinking that doesn't look right, it's not long enough. So you're cutting them to 7. That's what you're doing. And that's the starting point. That's 1. And then obviously I have a different paper in between, but I'm just trying to see where we're going next. So I think what we'll do next is we'll cut this piece to 7. It means cutting out the moon. I could do it the other way. So I might just chop that bit off, and then that bit will then go in here, like that. And let's just cut the bottom of that off, I think, a wee bit. That will be for that piece. And we need one more. No, we don't. That's, yeah, we do. We need 5. So we need 5 for each piece. So that's right. So let's just chop this just a very bit at the bottom to there. So it'll be a number. And then we've got this one, which we can probably, let's do this bottom part this time again. On there. So that's my 5 for there. Okay. And then we can chop this other one together. So I've said I've chosen the bear for the next piece. That's how it's kind of going to go on there. So I've chopped the bear. I've already started using this. I did chop a few bits off. I chopped, that's the edge, and that's those 2 bits there to make that full piece of, I think it was anyway, or maybe it's that way. I think it's that way round, yes. That's the full piece of paper, and I chopped these 2 pieces off. So I'm not going to use the outside piece, I'm going to use this piece. I'm going to take that away, and that's going to be the bit that I'm going to put into here. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that is exactly 1 inch, yes. So I'll put that one to there, so there's that one. And then I'm going to chop another inch, but I'm not going to use that one, I'm going to use the next one. So what I'm doing is every sort of alternate one I'm using, so that the picture will work, it'll look right when it comes together. So that's these 2. So I'm cutting the next bit, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use the next piece, which will be the bear's nose. It's a really clever idea, actually. So there we go. We're going to have that piece, but not this piece. And then we will have the last piece. Okay, and these pieces are all going to be cut into length 7 inches. So let's just have a look and see where we are. So that's what it's going to look like there. Then we're going to add this in. Obviously I'm going to cut it. Then I'm going to add the bear in here, but we'll cut it. Then I'm going to add its nose. Oh, I do need an extra bit there. So that bit could go at the... Let's see, I've got a bit here which I could actually add. And then that piece, or yeah, that piece at the end. So that's what it's going to look like. So if if I chop these bits down, and then we can stick them all together, and hopefully it will look how I'm hoping it's going to look. So let's just, so when you're cutting the strips, what I did was, it was the first piece, not the second piece, the third piece, not the fourth piece, and so on. And that's how I did it. So just to get this to 7, to move these up again, I want to just cut off a bit of the top this time. So there's that one. And then the next piece is going to be because obviously I want the bear. There's that piece. And the next piece is going to be the house. So that piece there, and then the next piece will be the bear. Now I want the moon, so I'm going to turn it round and just chop off that bit at the bottom. I've still got the bear's nose, so that will hopefully work. And then we want this piece here. Now, we want this piece here, so this is going to be the bottom again. I'm just going to chop the bottom off, so that should be 5 pieces there. So let's just glue it together and see what it's like. So let's just glue these pieces. So get my glue. But yeah, this paper's really nice. When I saw it, I thought, oh, I need to have that. It's lovely. So these are going to be exactly the same size as the pieces that you folded over. And I've just got glue everywhere, haven't I? Come on. We have to chop a few bits. You want that to come over. Right, let's do the next piece, which is going to be this. I'm going to try it with some other bits of paper as well, you know, little bits of patterned stuff. I think I've just chopped it a wee bit too long, so I might have to just cut it down slightly. Yep. And then maybe slightly here as well. There's a bit overlap, but that's okay, we can fix that. That down slightly. That's fine. Oh. Then we're going to pop this on now. Oh. Getting everywhere. So it's every alternate fold. We're popping these first lot into. I'll have to trim these, I think. Yeah, that's okay though, I can do that. And then this last one. Just here. Right, there's a few bits I need to chop off, so there's that piece there. Oh. That one. Probably some at the bottom as well. Better. And then there's a couple of bits here. And then I will trim off the bits that are sort of overhanging in between as well. So that's your first lot of them going on. I should still, it's a bit not quite. That's the first lot of that going on, which looks about right. Now, so we want to add on this next lot here. So we're going to start with this. I might just chop these down slightly because although they're an inch, I would just, it's probably a good idea maybe just to chop them just a 1/16 down or a couple of 1/16ths down from that inch because they're actually overlapping a bit. So let's just put this one on like that. Did I chop all these down? I did. So then just put them into the spaces that are then left. Now, the only thing about chopping it down slightly is you're going to get a slight bit of colour, but that should be okay because as you can see there, that's slightly overlapping, whereas with this bit it's not on that side, but that's okay. So the next piece I think is not going to be that because that's his nose, so the next piece is going to be the bear's behind. So I'm just going to chop a tiny bit off again, maybe not the full one I did the last time. So just a slither really you need. So let's pop this on as well. So the bear, this bear here, put that into there, that's fine. Try and get it. I need to cut that as well. And then our next piece is going to be this piece here, which is going to be that little house. So I think that needs cut very slightly as well, just a tiny little slither off of that side. Then we can just pop this on. I know I'm doing this on top of my trimmer, but I'm needing to use the trimmer, so it's actually easier just to do it this way. So just finding that space again. Should still manage to hopefully because that's slightly, we'll have to sort that in a minute. Sort that. See, that one's a bit over there. Let's just chop that bit off. That one's too far over. Better? Yeah, that's better, definitely. That's it. And then we need to get the next piece, which is going to be the nose. Now I'm just going to do a tiny slither again off of that one. There we go. I'm just going to put this one on now. So hopefully I've done this right. I probably actually should have, I think I've actually put one of the bits in the wrong place. I should have put in. What have I done with it? Oh dear, I think I should have put the mount. Too late, I'll just carry on doing this. I'll see what it's like in a minute. If it's not quite what I'm thinking, I will sort it. And then we need one more of these, which is going to be this one here, just on the end. So that, or we could actually have that one on the end, the Christmas tree. No, it was that bit. I meant to put that bit in there, didn't I? But I didn't. Let me just sort that, because that's wrong, or it's going to look silly. It's going to look silly without him, and we'll just chop that wee bit off there. Slightly. Yeah, that was the bit I should have put in. Let's just get that on, because that's not going to be quite right, is it? So that needs to go on here, just on there, like that. But that's fine, I've put that piece on already, but we'll just do this on top. So just like that. So that's going to actually go on to here. So and then, as I say, the last piece is going to be this piece, I think. Yes. Or, no, actually, what we'll do is just put that other piece on the end. This, but no, that won't. No, it's not going to work like that, surely. Right, so, there we go. Nearly done. And then we can have a look at it and see if it's looking okay. So, there we go. So that piece there. So then we're going to fold it in a bit to where it was. Now that bit's not quite working because they were overlapped slightly. But so just folding it back down and just giving it a good old crease like that. And then if you sort of look at it one way, you see sort of that nice tree. And if you look at it the other way, you sort of see the bear. So I think that's quite clever. So there we go. So that's my rendition on it. I'm going to add some extra pieces of paper now. Put these up here. Keep that to the side just now. I like to have my desk tidy. I don't like it to be a mess. So for the front, we want to put something on the front, don't we? So I'm thinking not the owl. Could have. Let's see. We want to put something inside as well. Let's see. There's so many. I don't want to choose one. So let's just, because it's sort of this colour, I'm going to pick the owl, flying owl. And I'm going to pop him onto the front, I think. So I want him mostly on the front. So it's just deciding which part. So I need this to be 4, well, actually it doesn't need to be. It can be just about a 2/8 shorter than, or 1/8 shorter than the card base, but I'm going to actually take a bit off this side just so that we're actually starting from a shorter side and we're getting most of the owl in. So I want to be slightly just 2/8 shorter, and then I need to cut it to 2/8 shorter of 7 for the, so we'll be doing it that way, so it's probably to about there. So that's going to be my front. Let's just see if that's right. Yep, so that's going to go on the front, so it's just going to have that nice front on it. So you know, this can be a fabulous card you're given to a friend who's not even, maybe not crafty, and would, even a crafty friend would love this, but a friend who isn't crafty would, I think this was a masterpiece. So yeah, so just popping that on. There should be just a very tiny bit round the edge like that, which is, so that's the front, like that. And then we could do the back as well. So if I get something to pop in the back, it could actually be this stuff I used for the inside, which would be quite nice to use. So we want this to be the same sort of size. Now I would like the moon in it, so I'm going to do it just shy of, so it was 2, so the moon's still in it, and I want to keep the moon in it, so I'd have to cut off this from the bottom, and that would be the back panel. So if we just pop that onto the back, which will look really nice, and I think that would finish off the whole card. This is going to be a long video, folks, but I think it's worth it, because it is lovely paper. I'm not on commission or anything, I'm just using the paper that I thought was lovely and bought. So yep. There we go, so that's the back panel. So it's really going to make it a really special card, isn't it? Front panel, back panel. Now you can put a couple of bits inside, you don't have to. You can just add this concertina bit inside, and then you have the nice outside. But what I thought, instead of adding a full panel into there, I might add some of the offcuts, but then I would have probably had to do it the other way. Let's just pop that up there and let's have a look at some of the nice bits. More, I mean, they're all nice. They're just lovely. So, let's see. Actually, on this occasion, I think I'm going to keep my paper, and I'm just going to put this in. So I can just show you now how to put this in. So it's basically simple. You're just going to pop glue on that first panel. So turn it over, pop the glue on, and just line it up with your 5x7 base card, making sure obviously if you've got a bit on the front that it's round the right way, and just marry that up, give it a good burnish like that, and that is your beginning of that. And then exactly the same on the edge of the other side. And just bring it to the very edge of the card, because it will stretch because it's a same size. Just bring that over, make sure it's going to be exactly the same. Like that, that's it. lovely. And then there you have it, your card. So I think it's a fun idea. I was really taken with that when I saw it. I thought it was a really fun idea. And it just makes, it's a scene card. So you open it, you obviously can, you know, probably flatten it. I don't know how you can actually do it, but you can probably flatten that down and give it to your, probably it's a hand given card. I mean, you probably could flatten it completely, I suppose, but mine isn't flattening and I don't want to. So you've got a nice front, a nice back, and then you open it up and you can, the person who receives it can pull it all out and make it into that nice concertina, and you can look at it that way and you can see the bear, and you can look at it that way and you can see a bit of the bear, but you can also see lots more of the sort of trees and things. So I think that is really nice. So I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope that you might consider doing a card similar. You can pop over to Heidi's page, I'm sure, and have a look. So that's 2 I've done. I really do like them, and they will be going to some special people in my life at Christmas. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe by hitting the all bell button to never miss a video. And like is important, sharing is important, and hyping is important too. Please do let me know your thoughts, and I will see you back here soon. Bye.